It's man like Dan. Come on, welcome, Melanated and Proud. Today, we have a man from North Wheezy. He's a software engineer, a dedicated, talented young man who strives to be the best version of himself. He dreamed of this day. He's got his journey to say, so let's welcome the man himself, Big Shaq. Skiddy pop pop pop.
Thanks, man. For the big intro. I love that. Thank you. No, man, it's good to be here. Thanks for that. And yeah, man. So I'm half Trini. Then the rest is Dominican and St. Lucian. And yeah, Caribbean basically. And yeah, born and raised in UK, Northwest.
How was your childhood like for you?
Damn, we're going to these questions like that. Flip it. Oh, man said, how's my childhood? Yeah, I think my childhood was like great, man. Being the youngest child, it was. I think my parents, you know, when they're after they had so many children, they get a bit more lenient. So they allowed me to have my own space. They provided for me in a lot of different ways. They hid a lot of the struggle from me, so like the financial struggle in that sense, which most parents should do, and just made me have a good childhood, if I'm being honest. Can't complain there. That's
alright. You had no idea about any struggle at all, and so everything was kind of blessed for you, innit?
Yeah, like obviously you have inklings. Obviously you see the you see behind the curtain sometimes. But yeah, like they made sure like all of us were all good. We all had something to eat, we all had something to do, we all had something to play with. Like, but you definitely saw certain parts of it, especially when I was younger. But yeah, it was. Other than that, it was good, man.
All right. And so, how was your education life like for you?
Oh man, education for me was, especially when I was younger, very bad. Very bad. Starting out in like primary school, my mum used to have to come into primary school because they thought I needed extra help. No, I needed extra help. Yeah, I needed extra help with a lot of things. And they'll start to my mum like, yeah, he's struggling. There was obviously respect for that. Yeah, he's struggling. He needs extra support. He's basically have learning difficulties early on. And yeah, then I think slowly when I was growing up, going into high school, secondary school for all you people in the other side of Northwest, it obviously got a lot better. But I was just an average student. All C's for like GCSEs. It was nothing special, if I'm being honest. But education has always been at the beginning of my life a struggle, but got much better later in life. And that's led to like college, where I did BTech level 3 IT, then which obviously led to university, where I met you. And yeah, where I did computer science, and that's where I got my 2-1. And yeah, that was it.
So you got 2-1. So let's just rewind a bit. You said education was difficult for you, innit? So what made you want to go to university then? Because you're already struggling. And not even just any course, like computer science. Computer science is hard.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Computer science. So again, I think I have to wind even further back. It's because I had such a massive love for video games. When I was younger, I used to play video games like majority of my time, whether it was by myself or with my brother or my sister, whatever. Like video games was a core part of my life, and it still is. And I always imagine myself, I want to make a game. I want to design a game. I want to do X, Y, Z. So what I used to do, I used to Google like how to make my own game, or what I need to be like a game developer, a game designer. And that always led to computer science. Study computer science, study computing, whatever. And very early on, I think I was lucky to know what I wanted to study and know what to do, because I know a lot of people don't really have a good idea when they get to uni, like what kind of career path they want to lead to. And my love for gaming kind of led me to computer science. So in college, that's where I really started to see the future of computer science. I tried to apply for a game development course. Obviously, I didn't get in because, again, as I said before, I was an average student, C across the board, and you needed a B.
Yeah.
Heartbroken about that. But a guy there, a black guy, a black teacher there, so supportive. He was like, "Look, like you can do it. You can do it by doing under this other course." And the other course was obviously BTech level 3 IT. He's like, it's generally the same thing. Obviously, it's not rooted in gaming, but it's rooted in computing. And from there, you can go to uni. You can study computer science. You can study game development if you want. And I remember thinking, like, what is there to lose? And I just took that shot, and I went from there.
No, that's big, man. So, like, right early on, you had someone giving you some advice and a bit of motivation at the beginning. Because do you feel without that advice, you would have known what to do after that rejection?
Yeah, like I was lost. I think everyone has a plan, right? And I definitely had that plan in my head. I will get in to this game development course, but I didn't, and I was really lost. And that college was the only college in my area. I definitely felt lost. Of course, I had a plan, and that plan didn't go to plan. So that was heartbreaking, and I just needed some type of guidance. And I think if it wasn't for that guy, honestly, he did play. Even though it was such a small thing, it was a big part of my life, because I don't know what I would have done. I might have gone to A levels, and thinking about that, I'm so glad I didn't. I think it was the perfect opportunity and the perfect course for me. It really was. So like, yeah, it was amazing.
Computer science, it's something that consists of maths as well, isn't it? So how was your math skills at the time? How was that sort of challenge?
I think that was a big one. Obviously being rejected already by college for not having a B in maths, then going on to study computer science. A lot of people think computer science requires a ton of maths or a high level of maths, which some parts do, like game development. You do need to understand the fundamentals. Actually, I remember I used to Google when you look into computer science, you tend to like look to see what you need. And before then, I used to Google like, what do I need? And it used to say maths. So that used to put me on the edge a bit, because I was really worried about my maths. But no, like all computer science courses, as you know, it's a course. You're there to learn. You're not there to learn beforehand and go there to learn even more. No, they're going to teach you the fundamental. They're going to teach you everything you need to know. And that first year of university is that, like, you learn the fundamental basics. Like, we started again from GCSE maths all the way up to A-level maths in my first year of university, which was amazing. Obviously, there's some people that were great at maths, so they just flew right past it. But for someone like me, that was great. Like, it got everyone on the same page. And yeah, it was just cruising after that.
Yeah. And so what sort of challenges would you say you faced at university?
Okay. I think course-wise, I think the biggest challenges was that I was definitely anti-social. I would go to lectures, sit down, might pay attention, might not, then leave. I wasn't really trying to interact with a lot of people. And I think the hard part was that it's because there was no one that looked like me. There wasn't like a ton of people that were there wasn't a ton of people that were black there. So I knew that it was kind of hard. Like, how can we relate to people if you have nothing to talk about or common? Even though obviously computer science is that common thing there, I still found it very hard. And don't get me wrong, there were a few black people there, but there weren't a lot compared to white people and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I partly do blame myself for not just going out there and speaking to people, asking people for help, because that's the best way to talk to people and meet new people, and I just refuse to do that. obviously the struggles itself was that computer science was hard. Looking back at it, I really did wish I studied more, focused more. But when you look back on things, you obviously think it's much easier when it actually was, but compared to when you was in that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, that was it really. It was just those two things. Just studying more, a bit more. And yeah.
Like you said earlier, you got your 2-1. So how did that
feel?
It
felt amazing. Third year of uni, I was every day, I was calculating. I was on the grade calculator trying to calculate whether I was going to get a 2-1 or a 2-2 or whatever grade. I was like, if I get 50% in this exam or 60% in my coursework, that's what I was doing every day. But when I finally got that grade, I was over the moon. The final year was probably like my best year in terms of everything. Like, I started to branch out, meet new people in my course. I started to studying more. I started taking the course material much more seriously as well. And overall, I really wish I was able to. I really wish I could reproduce that same year with the other 2 years prior. But yeah, it was an amazing year, and I'm so glad that it's all done now.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. And how did you persevere then? Because with all these struggles, think about when you was younger, how teachers were saying that, you're gonna need some support and that. Like, what was your drive? Like, as well as like your family struggles as well. Like, what was your drive that kept you believing and pushing harder?
Yeah, like I think I had different drives at different points in my life. I think for like, but once I got into high school, this may seem really like rude and like, but like I just didn't want to be homeless. Like, I realized the fact that I was struggling educational wise, and I think Black parents can be quite stern and say like, if you don't do well in education, you'll be homeless, kind of thing. I'm not saying for all Black people, but yeah, my mom was like that. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me work. Let me actually put in some effort. And for school, I started putting more effort. Just about got my C's, and that was genuinely my motivation as well. But I think another big part was my friends. We used to banter each other, saying like, "You got a C or you got a B or whatever," and that used to really push. Push each other, because we wanted to get a better grade than our friends, so we could banter him and say like, "Look at you, like you're trash," like kind of thing. So like that was also another big motivation for me. And just seeing that, just those two things was more than enough for me personally. But getting to college now, this is where I kind of took it more seriously, where I would study more. And this is where I started to learn how to study. And I took it way more seriously. And a lot of people there in college wasn't my age. I was 16 to 18 throughout college. And those people there were 18 to like 24. So they're grown people that some of them have to even pay to be there. And so just being in that kind of environment itself, it's a serious environment. Like, all of us want to do the best we can and progress in life.
So finishing university now.
Yeah.
How was life after that? Because obviously, I know it's a difficult field, and so how was it after uni, trying to get jobs and everything?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people it's very hard, and it was really hard for me as well. It was hard in the sense that like you're applying for these jobs, then you're getting rejected. But I know when I finished university, I wanted to take some time out, so just travel a bit, went on a few holidays and chill. But the reason I was doing that was because I wanted to delay the fact that I'm going to be joining the workforce and I'm going to be working for like 40 years. And that was very daunting. But after I came back and was ready to start applying, it was very hard. I think I took like 5 months to find something. It was super tiring, like to write our application form for 30 minutes to an hour, then get rejected the next day, without even speaking to anyone. That it was soul crushing. It was soul crushing. Now I say it got to the point where I was even looking at places up in Birmingham, like, and I'm thinking about it, that's crazy. Yeah, like in Birmingham, I traveled all the way to Birmingham for one interview. I still didn't get that one. I was even considering one role that was going to pay 18,000, and which is nothing. Like, you can work that for retail, and it was in Milton Keynes, so I would have to move down there as well. And it was only for a 1-year contract, and they might keep you on. Like, that's how desperate I was to find something. But no, like, I think from my hard work and just luck and timing, I found the current place I'm working at.
But as you was doing that, surely you must have been seeing your friends like getting jobs in it. So how was that making you feel?
Actually, yeah. I saw some people getting jobs, but majority of them weren't. And I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. It felt good that we was all on the same boat. It felt good that it was all in the same boat. Yeah, like seeing some of them get jobs, I was really happy for them. Of course, I was happy for them. But majority of us, we were struggling to find jobs. So I knew I wasn't alone. There was definitely some times where I felt alone, but I knew I wasn't alone. So I think I must have come across this company. I've never heard of them before. It's a financial company, similar to competitors of Bloomberg and such. And I think I just applied online, and yeah, they called me. They called up and said, like, we'd like to do an interview. I did a hour and a half technical interview, and in that technical interview, we obviously talked about technical things in the software engineering, computer science course. So technical questions for an hour and a half, which is very long, by the way. Then after that, they called me back and said, hey, we'd like you to come in for a 3-hour interview, and this was the final interview. So a very quick progress, which I really like. There's no 5 steps. It was just literally just 2. So when I came in, I obviously got to see the office, which was amazing, by the way. The first hour was just them talking to me about what their product is, which is great. The second hour was a technical interview. This is where you would show your understanding of computer science, and in that interview we talk about many different things, and they just want to find out your thought process, and they completely understood that I was a graduate, that I understood some technical things, but not others. And if you was able to clearly state that, that really showed that you were able to ask for help and progress. But as well as a few other things, the last part of the interview, which was another hour, was just the HR interview, which is general soft questions. Why do you want to work here? Those type of questions. Then yeah, got the job. That was it.
And also, throughout the job, you've had moments where got an increased pay, and so like, how did you go about that? Like, what was required?
So yeah, that's a good question. I think I was very lucky. It's a mixture of luck and timing, if I'm being honest. Because when I joined, we was on a set amount, but 3 months later, the company did a company-wide adjustment for our salaries. So they gave us a 7K increase to all graduate salaries. So, and I was very obviously over the moon about that. But so I knew I didn't expect much in my annual 101 meeting at the end of the year to discuss compensation. But once we reached that end of the year, I also got promoted to software engineer level 2, and also got a small 3% pay increase on top of that as well. And each year ever since I've been there, only been there 2 years, I have gotten a pay increase of 1 to 4%. Yeah, and that's generally the business, how the company works. You always get some sort of compensation increase.
So it doesn't require any sort of demands from you.
No, but I have given demands. I remember the last year that went. I had a set figure in my head. I said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for." I said, "This is what I feel is more competitive and what's more in line with other companies." And I think this will be fair. I also explained how what I brought to the table and what I did as well to like help our team and help the company. I think for the biggest thing, especially if your company doesn't give like percentage increase each year, is to mention what you bring like 2 months, 3 months before the actual one-on-one meeting, so that they understand like, okay, you want more money, and when on a one-on-one meeting, when you do have the one-on-one meeting, you elaborate a bit more on why you think you deserve it. And I just think it's good just to ask. You have to ask. Like, you're not going to get a pay increase if you don't ask. You might, but you're definitely going to if you do ask. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? They could say, like, I don't think it's right now, and that's fair. That's fine. Then you wait 6 months, then you ask again. You say, hey, do you think it's right now? And if they say no and you don't like it, you just find another place. It's that simple.
Yeah. But big man Shaq asking for more money. Like, did you think you ever been in a position where you'd be able to ask for more money?
Nah. Me, I'm a shy guy, man. Like, I think that's like confrontation like that. It makes my heart beat. Like, it really does. But there's sometimes you have to like just swallow that and just like, yo, ask for it. What's the worst they're gonna say? He's not gonna say like, nah, that you're not getting nothing, you're fired. He's not gonna say that. Like, you're valuable. Like, you're valuable to them, and just for them to replace you takes like a month or 2 months. So it doesn't make sense for them to do something like that. But yeah, like I definitely suffered from imposter syndrome. You know, when you just think you're not qualified to do something, and he's just fighting through that. Honestly gets much better.
That's interesting though, but where did this confidence come from? Because clearly you feel like you know your value in it, and so
yeah,
obviously it's good, isn't it? So I'm saying, like, where did you get that from? How did that develop?
It is seeing myself looking back like, no, I can do it. Yes, I did struggle at the beginning. I might have asked for help, but I got through in the end as well.
Man, like motivational Shaq. Yeah, I can do it. No, that's good. It's good. If you don't mind, obviously some people answer, some people don't, innit? But would you like to share your pay, or like a range of your pay?
Oh no, yeah, I don't mind at all. So when I first started, I was around like 37, 38. Then as I said, the company-wide adjustment, they bumped us by 7k, which is 45. Then each year you get some sort of compensation, which is 1 to 2%. So you can imagine it might have grown from 1,000 every year or 500 every year, and it really depends. But the range between the software engineer, it really does have a massive range. You can get paid like 25k, even lower, all the way up to like 50, 60k for just a graduate role. This is not a senior role. This is someone with no experience.
You
can get paid. Yeah, like, it is crazy. You can get paid incredibly well in a software engineering role.
So it just shows that playing games.
Yeah, it does.
You lot should play more games, innit? But no, that's sick, man. That's good. And so, like, what advice would you give to those that also want to pursue a similar field to you?
I mean, like, just go for it. Like, I think nowadays, everyone's doing it. Everyone is doing some sort of course online. Everyone's going to uni for computer science, and that's amazing. I'd love to see more people of color, like, or especially Black people, go into that field. There were tons of people in Canada. There were tons of people in our uni already that did computer science, but they could be way more. But just pursue it. It's fine. It's really fine.
Do you feel like people don't realize how much money there's in it, or do you feel like people think it's too hard to?
I think I think that's a good question. I think they realize that there's a lot of money, maybe not how much exactly, but they think it's way too hard. They think, oh, I can't do it. I don't have. They always say to me, oh, I don't have a brain like that. I'm like, I don't have a brain like that. The only reason why I got here is because I just studied a few years, and that was it. And I'm not trying to downplay me studying whatever, but honestly, nowadays you don't need to have a degree to be a software engineer. You can just do an online course. You can teach yourself. You can do whatever, and you can be like a software engineer in like a year's time after that.
No, that's big. That's powerful. That's very insightful as well. I might have to do that as well. I'm joking. Nah, that's good though. And so, like, what do you think is needed for Black people to move forward?
Oof. I think that's a good question. I think we're doing great already. I think we're doing amazing already, if I'm being honest. Like, to move forward, right? Like, what does that exactly mean?
What is the next step?
The next step for what exactly? I think we're doing good. I think the only thing I can say is, right, a lot of Black people tend to look at other Black people to see what to do. Like, they might see, oh, he's very successful in the music industry or in sports, and because we dominate those things, right, it's very comfortable to also do those things, right? That's why we see so many Black people in music and in sports. But you should be open to try different things as well. Anything you have interest in, like, look into it. I hear certain comments or jokes, or should I say, like, from my friends, like, Black people don't do that. Black people don't do that. I'm like, why not? Just do it, right? And even though most times it is a joke, but some of those jokes comes from truths in their heads. So it really, I think, one, we're ready moving forward. We're doing great there, but you can expand and do anything you like. You shouldn't think, I don't want to do something because Black people don't really do it, or there's not enough representation there already. You can be that representation for when you join, really.
Do you feel like we are supporting each other enough?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think Black people do a ton for each other already. Yeah, we do a lot for each other. Like, obviously there's going to be minority of people that once they get to a high enough place, they don't help the people down at the bottom, but that's fine. Like, that's those individuals. We don't need to judge them based on all of us, right? And there's going to be a lot of people that do, once they get reached to the top, help all the people at the bottom as well. I just don't want it to be like every Black person has to support every other Black person because it's just the Black culture way, right? That's fine if you do, that's fine if you don't. Like, it's okay. We do support each other enough already, and we can keep supporting each other, and I hope we do. But it's okay if some people don't. It's fine.
All right. What's your final words of encouragement for your fellow brothers and sisters?
I mean, yeah. Honestly, I would say just go out there. Anything you're interested in, just do it. Just pursue it. You might face some struggles. You might even face some racism, but you will get around that. You will work towards that. Support the people that are around you. Help them, and yeah, don't be afraid to be confident and push forward and like trying to get the best for yourself, because you are looking out for yourself and only yourself, if I'm being honest. And yeah.
My words to you is keep shining, man. You do really well, man. You do really well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep elevating. Yeah, I know more's gonna come from you. More money, more success, all of that. But yeah, man.
Thank you. I hope that comes for all of us. All that success.
Will. And everyone around you can look at you as that light in it, like, oh, Shaq's doing this. So in due time, I'll have you back on, innit? So
yeah, man.